On a very simple one to start. How was Wednesday watching that Arsenal game together here at the training ground?
Um, a surprise, because Arsenal is in such a good place in the Champions League, and I wasn't expecting Palace to get their point, but credits to Palace, they played a very good game, and tells you again what I've said so many times recently and over the course of this whole season, that it's not only hard for us to win a game of football, it's hard for everyone because there's so much quality in and around this league.
I wonder if during that game on Wednesday night you did a little bit start to feel like you almost had your hands on it.
No, because it's not very common to win something, but let alone that you win it if you're not playing. So it wasn't on my mind at all. Maybe for a few minutes when I think Palace got a big chance. But still, my focus is so much on Tottenham, on prepare the team for that Wednesday evening. I was just sitting there watching a game of football and not, which sounds weird, but not in my head that it could be done Wednesday evening, which it wasn't. And I always said we have to probably do it ourselves, and that's the first chance we have is on Sunday.
It's crazy to me, like how disciplined you must have to be to not let those thoughts enter your head. I mean, I'm a 44-year-old pub player, and I still dream of lifting the Premier League, and you're really close, and you still don't.
No, because maybe when you work in football as a manager or a player, people would understand it a bit better maybe, because we know there's still a task to be done. And as long as that's the situation, you have to be focused in every league, but especially in this league. Again, an example that Wednesday, again, an example that last week when we played Leicester, a team that was almost relegated before the game, but still made it very hard for us to win a game of football. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's not so difficult to focus on the job you have to do instead of all the other things that fans dream of.
So coming at it from a slightly different angle, what did you want to happen on Wednesday? Do you, as a professional who knows how hard it is to win a game of football, do you want it done?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do it? Right, you do. Right.
Yeah.
Just finish this as soon as possible.
Yeah. Get it over the line as soon as possible, and first chance there was Wednesday, which to me before the game I was like, that's probably not going to be a big chance. Looking at Palace, I was like, okay, because we still play them as well. It tells you again how difficult winning a game of football is. So yeah, the sooner the job is done, the better. But yeah, it ended 2-2, and that means instead of winning one game, now we need 1 point. But still, something needs to be done.
So that Leicester game, I remember seeing in my stat pack on the day, it was 11 months to the day that you were appointed Liverpool manager. So I wanted to reflect a little bit on the journey. I know you've done that a few times, but at that point, when you walked through the door here, what did you think? What did you think was possible?
You think there's a possibility to win things, because this is what this club has done for so many years. But you also know that you're going to work in the Premier League, where many clubs have a history like this, and many clubs can win something. So, but I think when I walked through the door, that it wasn't about, how much do I have to win and do I win something? It was about, let's see how the training ground looks like. And on the first days, it's of course the job to be done. So prepare your training session and work with the players and get to know them even better. Because the moment you start to work with them, you can really feel how good they are. That's different than when you watch videos or when you watch games.
At the start of the season, out of 40 pundits, how many do you think predicted a Liverpool title win?
Not a lot, which is normal, because last season it was mainly about Arsenal and City. Arsenal added a few players during the summer. City lost Alvarez, but I think everybody expected them to have the same season as they've had for so many years in a row. Maybe a few of them that like Liverpool a lot, maybe Jamie, something like him would maybe predict something special for us, but probably not a lot. No.
Yeah. So out of 40 plus pundits, no one predicted
not
Liverpool.
even Jamie.
Not even Jamie.
Okay.
I think he went Liverpool third.
Okay.
But the reason I raise that is I think it underlines a little bit of what you've achieved this season.
Yeah, but I think it's quite a normal prediction, because I've said many times during this season that we had still a lot to prove. This team still had a lot to prove, because Jurgen created this team together with the club 2 years ago from now on. And this team had only played Europa League and Premier League, and in Europa League I don't think Virgil played many games. So we had to show and prove that we could do Champions League and Premier League together with the same group of players, which normally makes it harder, but sometimes it also works that the more games you play, the fitter you become and the more of a team you become as well. And I could understand, apart from me being the new manager instead of Jurgen, that there were a lot of question marks because of me and because of us playing Champions League and Premier League again, where the season before, with only Premier League games, because the Europa League games were played by different players, it was already hard to compete with Arsenal and City.
Did you feel under the spotlight? Massive club, following Jurgen Klopp, the strength of the league, the strength of the rivals you're up against. You got to be thinking that every fan, everyone in the media, probably most importantly the players, as you walk through the door, everyone's looking at you. You know, who is this guy? I mean, they know a little bit, but yeah, they're all judging you. Did you feel that at all? No, definitely not here in the building. And the good thing, when you come to a new country, you don't know all the programs yet. So you start to, when you're in your car, you start to listen to a certain show, and then a few months later you listen to another one. And when I'm at home, I watch mainly Dutch television. So you don't get all the opinions from everyone. You don't get them. That's probably the positive thing about working abroad. And working with a team of players, you know, especially if you go to a new club, you know they are looking at you, and the staff members are looking at you. So that is also the situation when you go from AZ Alkmaar in Holland to Feyenoord. And that doesn't change when you go from Feyenoord to Liverpool. The good thing was that it wasn't the first time I changed jobs, and I've said many times, the culture at this club, in this training ground, how much they welcome you, the culture of the team, how much they want to do to become better players, helped me a lot to settle in. But I definitely think that's been one of the most striking things about you, certainly dealing with you from a media perspective. Following Jurgen Klopp hasn't fazed you. Contract questions, I mean, God, how many of them have you had? Hasn't fazed you. Being on the verge of winning the Premier League title hasn't fazed you. Have you been a bit like the swan? Do you know what I mean by that? Like, have you been calm on the surface, but paddling furiously underneath the water a little bit, or do you think that's a strength of yours actually, that actually you are able to bring a sort of a poise and a calm to stressful situations?
Yeah, but that calmness comes from confidence in the way we prepare the team before they go out. And if results then also go your way, that helps even more to feel confident. And I think you can only be calm if you feel confident. And it's the most difficult thing for a manager would be if there's a task to do and inside you feel this is going to be probably going to be really hard. And I've never had that feeling, but I've also always knew that we had a very good team as well. Not only in terms of quality, also in terms of mentality and how well they were prepared. Not only by me, but also by our performance and medical staff.
What have you made of the Premier League as a whole? It feels like it's been a topic of discussion in recent weeks. You could look at it lots of different ways, I guess, but certainly one way would be, you look at those teams in the middle, if that doesn't sound disrespectful. Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford. I don't know if they've ever been stronger. You played West Ham a couple of weeks ago, 17th, with the likes of Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen in their team. So in terms of depth, you could argue it's never been stronger. I know that's not the view of everyone, but from you had a view of the league from the outside. Now you see it close up. Has it been what you expected?
Yeah, I think it's been like I expected. Everybody said to me it's the hardest league in the world. It's a tough league to work in for the obvious reasons that everyone has a lot of quality. Apart from that, I think that many managers have said that come from abroad. that it's also a hard league because there's hardly ever a day off. We play 38 games. In some leagues they only play 34. You've got a league cap, an FA Cup. Champions League is of course extra games this season. So and compared to Holland, this country is quite a lot bigger than Holland. So if we have to play an away game, travel time is also much more. So more games, hardly ever a day off, more travel time towards away games, and a game of football is so much harder than in the Eredivisie. So that makes it a very tough league, and that's probably also the reason why people find it so interesting. And we are broadcasted everywhere around the world because every single game is, almost all of them are 1 goal difference, or it's a draw, or it's nice to watch because there are certain leagues like Holland where you know in 8 out of 10 games the results before the game has even started.
So given all the things you've outlined there, how big an achievement and how good does a team need to be to win this league?
Every team that wins a league needs to be really good and needs to be really consistent. So to be good is one thing, but to be consistent is the second thing. Consistent in quality, consistency in work rate, because this league you have to bring the best out of yourself every 3 days, where in some other leagues you can do this maybe once in 4 or 5 games, and the other 3 or 4 you just win by quality. This game you can only win with intensity and quality. So every team that wins the Premier League should get a lot of credits for that, in my opinion. Even if you finish second or third, you should get a lot of credits, because never before, I think, there were so many teams that could end up top 3, top 4. So yeah, even if you end up top 3, top 4, is already achievement in this league, let alone if you finish number 1.
Last question, one more point. Do you allow yourself to dream now?
I see it more as a responsibility we have for the weekend, to be prepared in the best possible way. Because I do know that maybe I prefer to win it on Wednesday evening, but I think I know that our fans love this scenario more. But that comes with responsibility for us, but also responsibility for the fans to support us then also in the best possible way, and for us to do what we have to do, and that's getting a point on Sunday. And so there's a responsibility, and like I've said many times, a job to be done, not only for us, but definitely by our fans as well.